Picture this. You tap a video on your phone, your laptop, or even your TV, and in a fraction of a second, this very sentence appears from somewhere you can't see. No cables on the floor, no giant switch on the wall marked "Activate the world." It just works. The story of how that miracle happens and how humanity learned to shrink distance down to almost nothing is the story of the internet. Let's go back to where it begins. Long before anyone said internet, people were already trying to make the world feel smaller. The telegraph sped messages across continents. The telephone carried voices through metal wires. Radio and television sent sound and images drifting through the air. But those were still single channels, one caller to another, or one broadcast to many. What no one had yet was a truly global network of networks, where computers everywhere could speak the same language. In the 1960s, researchers began imagining exactly that. A key breakthrough was packet switching, the idea of breaking information into tiny pieces that could travel different paths and reassemble at the destination. It was simple, brilliant, and shockingly durable. Most importantly, it meant no single line of communication was in charge. If one route failed, another could take its place. That idea would soon matter. On October 29, 1969, at UCLA, a young programmer named Charlie Klein sat at a terminal connected to an experimental network called ARPANET. The mission, as they chose to accept it, was to log in from Los Angeles to a computer at Stanford. He typed the word "login." The system made it to L and O before crashing. So the very first message ever sent over what would become the internet was just LO, a glitchy, accidental greeting, the network mistakenly saying hello by only managing half of the original word. They quickly fixed the issue and completed the login. But that brief moment is still the spark that opened the digital age. Through the 1970s, the network expanded. More universities joined. More computers came online. The challenge became clear. Each network spoke its own dialect. How do you get them all to talk? Two researchers, Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn, designed a universal set of rules called TCP/IP. Think of it as the shared grammar of computer conversation, a common language for a growing digital world. On January 1st, 1983, ARPANET officially switched to TCP/IP. This Flag Day is often seen as the day the modern internet was born. Many networks became one network of networks. Behind the technology was a simple dream: connection without boundaries. During the 1980s, the internet grew beyond research labs. Homes filled with personal computers. Offices began buzzing with modems. People discovered the strange joy of that warbling dial-up handshake. And yes, you could not talk on the phone at the same time. Humanity simply wasn't ready for that level of multitasking. To help humans navigate the growing network, engineers created the domain name system, DNS, letting you type names like example.com instead of memorizing long strings of numbers. Still, everything was text-heavy and fairly technical. Powerful, but not yet the vast, friendly world it would become. In 1989, at CERN in Switzerland, Tim Berners-Lee proposed a new way for people to share information, a web of pages connected by clickable links. He didn't realize it at the time, but he was laying the foundation for a revolution. He built the first web server, the first web browser, and the first website, a simple page explaining what the World Wide Web was and how to use it. For the first time, the internet felt like a place, not just a tool. In 1993, a team at NCSA released one of the first graphical web browsers, Mosaic, and it introduced something surprisingly transformative: images displayed alongside text instead of in separate windows. This made the web feel alive, vibrant, human. Mosaic inspired Netscape Navigator and later Internet Explorer. With these browsers, millions of people went online for the first time in the mid-1990s. The cultural vocabulary of the internet was born. Homepages, chat rooms, early email, and the mesmerizing experience of watching an image load one pixel row at a time. As the 1990s became the 2000s, dial-up began to fade and broadband arrived. Suddenly, going online wasn't an event. It was the default. Search engines made the internet searchable. Online shopping brought stores to your living room. Music and movies shifted from plastic discs to digital streams. Wi-Fi untethered everything. Laptops joined the party. Cafes became internet hubs. Then came the smartphone. In 2007 and beyond, phones gained full web browsers and powerful processors, turning the internet into a constant companion. Maps, messages, photos, videos, all accessible while standing in line for coffee. At this point, the internet stopped being somewhere you went and became something that quietly followed you everywhere. Today, the internet powers much of daily life. Our photos live in the cloud. Our documents are backed up automatically. We stream movies in seconds. Billions of devices, watches, game consoles, cars, speakers, appliances, communicate through the same fundamental ideas that began with ARPANET. Entire industries now rely on this invisible infrastructure: remote work, online learning, telemedicine, video calling, gaming, cloud storage, and more. Someone can learn a skill in one country, collaborate with a partner in another, and deploy an app used across the world, all without having left their homes. And now, AI is becoming a major character in the story. From writing assistants to creative tools to translation systems, AI enhances what we can do and how we communicate. The internet began by connecting machines. Now it amplifies human creativity. We usually notice the internet only when it fails: a buffering video, a spinning loading icon. But zoom out for a moment. Every time you click or tap, decades of engineering leap into action. Data packets race across continents, dive under oceans, through fiber optic cables, bounce between servers, and emerge almost instantly as sound, images, and text. And what might be the most remarkable part? The internet works because people around the world agreed to follow shared standards, open protocols, transparent rules, and a philosophy of cooperation. In a way, the internet is one of humanity's greatest group projects. No tool is perfect, and no technology is inherently good or bad. But at its best, the internet reflects our most hopeful traits: curiosity, creativity, generosity, connection. Students are learning from teachers they'll never meet. Families are seeing loved ones across oceans. Creators are sharing ideas that travel farther than they ever could. And you, right now, are part of that larger story. We are still early in the timeline. Faster networks, new forms of computing, and more capable AI systems are redefining how we work, learn, collaborate, and explore. The question isn't just what the internet will become, but what we will choose to create with it. Used wisely, This global network remains one of the most powerful tools ever built for expanding opportunity and opening doors that once seemed sealed shut. From an accidental LO to an AI-shaped world, the journey continues. You're always welcome here. And remember, it's Illumentary, my dear viewer.